Well, hello, my name is Mike Chapman. I'm a survivor of childhood sexual abuse and trafficking and a survivor of sexual assault as an adult by clergy. I am now a certified coach with husbandmaterial.com and founder and certified recovery life coach with Polar Life Consulting. And I'd like to share a few poems that I inspired to write during my healing journey. And I was very grateful they were recently published and can be found in this wonderful resource called Secret Shame. It's available on Amazon, subtitle A Survivor's Guide to Understanding Male Sexual Abuse and Male Sexual Development. Just posted on Amazon a few months ago. Wonderful resource by Dr. Douglas Carpenter, and phenomenal book. And I was very honored to be asked to have my poems included. Trigger warning, these poems are both graphic and descriptive of the abuse I experienced, but I have avoided vulgar language. I like to give some background on how these poems came to be. When I was 30, I'm in my mid-50s now, I uncovered repressed memories of being sexually abused by my father at age 3. Then in 2019, I sought out additional therapy, including PTSD therapy. We ended up covering even more repressed memories, including the fact that I was trafficked by my father to other men, and that the abuse did not actually begin at age 3, but started much earlier, when I was an infant, about 7 months old. My therapist encouraged me to let those abused parts of me tell their story. Since the child at that age is pre-verbal, you can encourage them to tell their stories in ways other than speaking, including just giving them a keyboard. He told me that he has had patients in his office grab their cell phone and start frantically texting, telling their story by text. I did that at home. I reached out to both the infant me and the 3-year-old me, and I gave them my keyboard and encouraged them to share. And these 2 poems simply poured out without any editing, and I'm not known for poetry, but those parts inside of me love sharing these poems. They're very proud of them. So I'll start with the first one, which is written by that infant me. Father's love. In my crib, soft and warm, asleep for the night. Soft, warm blanket protects me from cold. My father enters the room. I can smell his cologne. Old Spice lingers in the room. He removes the blanket. He cradles me in his arms, like so many times before, warm, soft, safe, loving. He places me on the cold floor. This is new. Why am I here? What is this in my mouth? I can't breathe. So scared. What is happening? So much weight, unable to move. Terror. Coughing up, new smells, new tastes, so frightened. What happened? I cry. I'm wiped down, placed back in my bed, covered in my blanket, protects me no more. I cry myself back to sleep every night. My father's love. Second poem, me at age 3. Heavy weight on me, hard to breathe. Why is he doing this? I don't understand. I'm so scared. I don't want this. Betrayed. I thought he loved me. Why is he doing this to me? Why is he causing so much pain? I don't understand it. The stuff I drank makes me feel weird. Like I don't really understand what is happening, but I still remember. I can still feel everything. Why does he keep doing this? Night after night, like the boogeyman, but he is real. So much pressure on my head, rhythmic up and down against the mattress. Sometimes I hit my head on the headboard. It hurts. I like to leave toys on the floor. Maybe this will stop him. Give me some warning. He gets mad. swears. It doesn't stop him. I'm powerless. I'm so alone. If I had a little brother, I wouldn't be alone. Maybe then it would stop. Maybe. I'm so weak. He is so big. I can't fight back. I have to give in. I hope it ends soon. Maybe he won't come back next time. Maybe. I can't breathe. I have to try to breathe through my nose so hard. I try to catch breaths when I can. He is done. I cough up hard, slimy, gross, the smell, the taste. He wipes me down, removes the evidence. I cry myself back to sleep, exhausted, but I can finally breathe. Thank you.
I'm trying to get myself together right now. My Lord. You're here today, you're talking about it. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm mid-50s too. I recognize the Old Spice. I mean, I was like, oh, that's from my memories too. But mine were a little later. Mine were like 7. But
I have those memories too.
I'm very sorry. I had memories for 7 and didn't have the rest of the memories for, 9, 10, 11 until we recovered memories. Until, wait a minute, it didn't end after a year? It did not end after a year.
Yeah.
How do you feel you have, I don't know, come to terms is the wrong phrase. Have you come to any agreement with yourself about the experience and about how you want to express it or keep it or talk to people about it or not talk to people about it?
I've discovered the more I share my story, the more healing I feel and the more the shame goes away. It's so empowering and it empowers others, especially men. So glad to see Donald here, to share their stories because there's so much healing in that. And then I'm involved in husband material, and since I shared my story, they've really gotten more into survivors of sexual abuse and realizing there's a huge overlap, because usually if you were abused, you have all kinds of sexual issues, including addictions, and so many of those struggling with addiction issues also have histories of abuse, and the numbers are astounding. So they're having resources. They actually had Doug Carpenter, who wrote that book, lead a Zoom retreat recently, just specifically on sexual abuse. It was wonderful, and well received, well attended, just wonderful being a part of that and knowing I'm helping other men. And I talk very openly. I've shared my story on several podcasts. And yeah, it's horrible that it happened, but it did happen. And being able to use it to help others is very important. And as I heal, I can share what I did in my healing journey with other men and women, and anyone who is struggling, and they can use me as an example for their own healing journey, like I've learned from so many others on my journey. They've so much informed me, and we all just help each other along the way.
We have a question here from Anne. I often wonder what would be worse, people not asking what's wrong after seeing a dramatic change, or no one recognizing that there was a change because the signs of abuse were chalked up to a normal developmental stage, e.g. having nightmares or night terrors. Is that something that that you relate to as a concept?
Yeah, when I started to be trafficked around age 5, and that lasted till age 8. And I know first grade, I was a zombie. My class picture, you can just see it in the face. And I have very few memories of that time. But I remember, I think I came across a report card that I was easily distracted, and yeah. But I don't know if they noticed. I noticed my mom never used that class picture. I got it in a whole bunch of box of pictures that she sent me. And it was one of those, you know, how you would like display all the class pictures of your children. That one never made it. And then somehow she had relabeled second grade as first grade and kind of moved them down. And it's like she saw that it's like, okay, no, we're not going to use that. But
We're
she
not
never
going to.
asked why that was. So, yeah.
There were a lot of things, and I'm sure it's relate to you and pretty much survivors in general, that there are a lot of times that I was told to stay away from someone, but never told why.
Right.
And that if I look back, there's so many of those. And what that shows me is that a family unit trying to conceal can be very effective. Don't tell you why, just tell you don't do this or don't do that. And propagating the idea, you said, looking at your situation differently as a child, saying things like, well, you had an attitude, you had problems. That's kind of where I got labeled too, was, oh, he's just being an ass. He does that, you know, never mind that it's a total shift. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm actually going to back up to talking about you sharing your story again and again and again and being totally open. That is what I do. We are doing something that didn't exist because we're just about the same age. It didn't exist when we were going through the abuse. So that is an immensely beautiful thing. When somebody can look and see you, they can look and see the show. They can look and see all the other people who are doing this, Donald's work, and say, you know, somebody gets it. I'm not the only one. Because they got to tell you, in the 1970s, as far as I was concerned, I was the only one.
Mm-hmm.
Here we get another question here. Trafficking is something that we now know about. When did you realize that you were trafficked at such a young age?
Like I said, 2019. I had blocked it entirely out. And it was actually, I had started going to therapy, but that didn't bring it out. It was Male Survivor, .org, their forum, discussion forum on there. I knew I had this huge block of first grade, and it's like, why? And I knew it was important, and I always remembered not remembering. And so I just started talking in their discussion group. Okay, then it's like, what do you remember? It's like, oh, well, it was all just mini traumas that happened around that time. But then I just started listing them, and then there was this weird camping trip that was bizarre, but it was important. It was an important memory, but it made no sense that it was like middle of the night. My father says, we're taking your mattress, put it in the background. We're going in the back of the station wagon. We're going camping. It's like, okay. It's not like, hey, we're going to camping in a few weeks. It was like last minute, and we leave in the middle of the night. And I put the pieces together. It was during the gas crisis. So he drove 4 hours away and had to refill, but because the gas lines were so long, whatever sedative he gave me wore off. So I woke up, saw the big gas lines. It's like, where are we going? Oh, we're going camping. Oh, okay. And me and two other boys, same thing happened, I think, from what I pieced together from my memories and so forth. So it was try to piece that together. And on this board, someone says, you know, I think that might have been a voice swap event. It's like, what's that? Never heard of that before. And then he described it. It's like, oh, and it made sense because there was tons of dads there, but somehow it was only me and these two other boys, and they didn't do anything with us. We were just said, okay, go play by the lake, don't get dirty, we'll bring lunch to you, kind of thing. Made no sense. And now I realize, and then my father divorced my mother soon after that, because I think I had outgrown it. And yeah, so, and it's come out in therapy. Yeah, I was trafficked multiple times over several years. So, but that was my last event, and I wasn't trafficked on that, but trafficking was happening around me at that event. But because we woke up, it's like, okay, we were spared.
There's a thing of CPTSD and PTSD, and complex PTSD relates to more than one incident. They finally separated those two ideas.
Right.
And you have all of these memories. Each one is a triggering moment. Each one is a traumatic moment. And sometimes it's hard to, I think, for me at least, to look at all this stuff and go, oh my God, all that happened. And I'll be overwhelmed by it for a while. And so this work that you're doing, I think, is wonderful, because you can address that. You can look at that. You can say, okay, what did somebody give me when I was doing this that makes me see something else? You know, because I don't know about you, but like doing this stuff publicly, I have learned so much about the world, about the survivor community, and also about myself. People have moments of clarity that I am so glad they have. It's like Lady Leo has a question for you. Wait a minute. Ask you. There we go.
You're on mute. Oh, there we go.
Okay. First, Mike, thank you. Oh my gosh. I have to take a deep breath. You're such a courageous man. Such a courageous man. And I thank you. I thank the universe for bringing you in my space this evening. You know, yeah, I truly do. All three of you gentlemen, actually. As a survivor, I struggle with being in the presence of men that I don't know, even virtually. So I just want to say I appreciate you all. And I just wanted to, let you know, Mike, thank you for being that voice for so many little boys that have not yet figured out that they need healing. Continuing to share and to be that clear and vulnerable and strong and courageous is going to help so many more. So many more. So I thank you. I do thank you.
Thank you, Lady Leo. And I know abuse of infants is so common, but they're silent victims. So the fact that I was able to even recall that memory, thankfully through my therapist, helped tremendously. Yes. But I did want to, I meant to chime in when you were speaking, a line from one of your poems, "Love is my survival." Yes. And that connectedness with others that I found reaching out to others and healing, that connection has helped me heal. Connecting to others and not isolating has helped me tremendously. And so I love that line because love is my survival. Yeah. And that helped me in my recovery so much.
I would tell people I was the isolation queen. I have a PhD in it. It's my go-to. Even now where I'm at, and I have to be very mindful of that, okay, am I taking some me time? Which is okay. Being an introvert and an empath is mandatory, or am I isolating? Am I not wanting to be seen? Is there something that I want to say that won't come out? I have to catch myself. I'm a teeth grinder. So it's like, if I'm just normal things and I'll find myself grinding my teeth, and it's like, this is interesting. Someone in here wants to say a little something, So definitely appreciate you.
Thank you.